Hi everybody, Soji Fagade here. Welcome back to ComeonyespursTV. Today we are going to do a review of the Champions League last 16 draw, and also we're going to do a preview of the match between Forest and Tottenham away at the City Ground. With me today is Chuma. Chuma will be joining us very, very shortly. In the meantime, come on, ye Spurs. Yeah, as you can see on the animation earlier on, it says subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you're new here, and also like the channel. And if you need to get notified anytime we go live, click on the animated button that looks like a bell. Yeah, so welcome to Come On You Spurs TV. With me is Chuma. Chuma is our resident guru, as I like to call him. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs with a bit of a Nigerian bent to it, given the fact that, okay, we come from Nigerian backgrounds, and we're part of a Spurs forum that is essentially a Nigerian Spurs channel or forum. Yeah, so that was how this whole TV, Common Spurs TV came about. Right, so today we're doing a preview, like I said, and also going to do a review of the match of the Champions League last 16 draw. Chuma, how are you? Welcome.
Oh, I'm super good, super blessed. Another new week, couple of Spurs matches, and then we roll on to the World Cup. So I'm just savoring these last games as a Spurs fan before turn off for a winter break, more or less.
Yeah, it's been a mixed sort of season so far. If you think, at the beginning of the season, we're looking good, and I mean, okay, as we are now, we kind of sit fourth in Premier League, but on our league form, we seem to have lost the last four of our lost the last three of our four matches in the league. So patchy form coming into the league, and okay, qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League, top of the group in dramatic circumstances, and we seem to be making heavy weather of games. I'm coming up in the second half to try to turn games around. I haven't gone behind. What's going on?
Now, I'll put it to you this way: um, there's a saying in marketing, pie, perception is everything, and perception is everything, and I insist, as 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 poorly as people are saying we play, and I'm not denying that we don't play poorly in patches. It's in direct comparison to our running at the end of last season or from New Year's last season, where we were playing one match a week. We had enough preparation time and rest time, so we're absolutely flying at the end of the season. And everybody thought we would do the same thing now. We are not realizing that the benefit or the reward for what they did last season was getting into the Champions League, which meant more fixtures, surrounded by internationals. Now everybody else has these fixtures, but if you compare squads, the teams that are best coping with it are the teams that have one and two for each position quality. And that's what Spurs, I believe, are lacking. And because of that, and to be honest with you, if you had told us without looking at the results or the patchy form you mentioned, if you told us at the start of the season that we would be going into the November World Cup, Spurs fourth into the round of 16, Spurs fans would have taken it. Only problem because it's who is sitting at the top of the tree. I always say it's who is sitting at the top of that tree. That person, that team has made everybody like literally cast their pearls to swines. So
Yeah, there's also been a lot of criticism for the manager and for the team in general. Obviously, the thinking is that we seem to give ourselves a mountain to climb anytime we go into matches, and because of that, we kind of start on the back foot, and we're going to come against teams who will make it difficult for us, either because they're too good and we can't really afford to give them a head start, and then of course things don't head your way. I mean, you look at the last match against Liverpool, and in our last match view. I went back to watch that match, and I thought we did actually really, really well. I mean, even though we didn't start that,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were obviously very generous with the goal. Of course, an error, and I mean, everyone can make an error. It proved it proved fatal in that situation, and overall, I actually thought we gave a very, very good account of ourselves. I mean, in both halves, I dare say, even though we didn't score in the first half, we actually came very close to scoring as well. You know, um, so I mean, for me, I think I know Conte always talks about patience, about giving the team time to evolve, and like you put it, like you just rightly put it earlier on. You said, look, our context is about looking at the whole big picture and looking at where we are compared to how people think that we should be. I mean, where we should be. And I mean, you use the word perception, I use context. I mean, but I think we're more or less talking about the same thing, in the sense of where we see ourselves in the light of our position. Now, we we top that group in dramatic circumstances. Again, I mean, it's like a, a trademark these days. I mean, I love how we dealt with Marseille. I mean, in the last match, and for me, that was just really, 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 really lovely. I mean, we came away with victory at the end, even though we didn't actually start that much that great. I mean, the first half they were all over us like a rush, But we've gone on, and we led the group part of the last 16, and yeah, I mean, we got a reasonably good draw. Let's have a look at the draw and see what it threw up. Now, as you know, the being so what am I call group leaders, it meant that we would ensure that we would have the second leg at home. I mean, with the data out now, and it's looking like our first leg is away to AC Milan at the San Siro, and it's on uh, hear this on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
So many men are going to be lying to their wives
I
about
don't.
where they're heading off to. Or they'd fix a romantic weekend away to Milan. The
and
wife has no idea.
that's beginning to look yes, people are going to have to sort of find ways of ensuring that they get to see the match on that day. But I, on a chances level, if you look at all the other teams in the draw, I mean, it's I think we're quite a lot of tasty ties there. I mean, Leipzig versus Man City. On paper, that looks like a Man City coming through. But I love all this on paper stuff, because the reality of the matter is that we we may still end up with plenty of upsets.
Yeah,
Uh,
the round of 16. Yeah, round of 16 is a knockout thing, and we all know about cup competitions. Being Spurs fans, we've had our fair share of cup success and cup failure, and the thing about knockout phase is like anybody can get it. As we say in Nigeria, due to that Burna Boy song, everybody must chop breakfast at some point.
absolutely.
Every team will get it. So I wanted Leipzig and Bruges. To be honest with you, I looked at I looked at Leipzig and Bruges, and I said, I fancy us against Leipzig and Bruges.
Yeah, but
I don't know about Milan, but I fancied us against those two. I was hoping for those two.
at this stage of the competition, there's no easy matches.
I know, but it's still,
Uh, on paper,
I think it would have been interesting.
yeah, a lot of interesting ties there. I mean, I think Bruges are not that bad either. They've had a a lot of good results in their group. And yeah, I mean, Liverpool Real Madrid is another. One of those
I
big.
would say it's a classic.
I mean, we've got two crackers in that round, and thankfully for the likes of us and other teams, I mean, a lot of the big teams have been pitted together. Liverpool, Real Madrid.
And thank goodness we didn't come second, because that Napoli team is absolutely merciless this season. Napoli
But,
are merciless
but
this year.
the good thing about it is that I'm not sure if Ndombele will have been allowed to play against us, given that the fact that he's on loan to them.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if he would have been. That's interesting. I don't know if there are stipulations that
Yeah,
he
and
wouldn't play in.
the other interesting thing about it is that, I mean, Napoli are flying in the Italian league now. I think they're top of the league, and chances are that if things remain the same way as they are now at the end of the
They'll,
season,
they'll buy him. Yeah,
and Ndombele might end up winning. this.
yeah. Well, it's quite interesting. Like it's him. It's this week you had the Gareth Bale meme that Gareth Bale just won a cup with LA, and his season at Spurs on loan was the only season in the last how many years he did not pick up a medal. You
Yeah.
know, these things happen. These things happen. It's fortune has favored him or shone on him. Lo Celso is in Villarreal. He's injured. He's out of the World Cup, so it could have fallen any way for him. And I'm happy for him. He picks up a championship medal. Brilliant, and his value rises. Wonderful.
Yeah, let's look at the fixtures. I mean, a little bit more. I mean, so we've got Leipzig, Man City, Bruges against Benfica, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Milan, us, and Frankfurt against Napoli, Dortmund, Chelsea, Inter, Porto, and PSG Bayern. Now, I think that's the top
That's
round.
beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful game.
That for me is probably the tie of that round. So I mean, everyone will keep.
Whoever wins that is the share favorite for the. I believe whoever wins that is share favorite for the actual.
How do you fancy us against Milan?
And then Real Madrid and City.
I was asking, how do you fancy us against Milan? Can you hear me, Chuma? I think. So Chuma, I mean, you were saying about your thoughts on Milan. What are our chances against them? What do you reckon? How do you think?
I think our chances are very good. Personally speaking, if you were going to draw any of the Italian sides, I think Milan would have been a good one, because um, midfield wise we're good. Our midfield matches up. Um, their defense against our attackers. If all our attackers are fully fit by that time, we have a very, very good chance. Um, yeah, they have very good play. They have that one person that I don't. Yeah, that former. I don't even know what to call him. I call him a London nomad in Giroud that jumped from Arsenal to Chelsea. That guy has a personal goal vendetta against Spurs. So he's one to watch.
Who's that?
Uh, Olivier Giroud, of course. Giroud is just this guy. Like, he's just this guy. I can't describe him. He's just one of those players that has a knack of scoring against Spurs, and he's had it in all the clubs he's gone to. So he's one to watch. But overall, they're a very good side. They are well coached. They play very well. But I think, and Conte has a winning record against their manager and the club itself. Conte is like 80 or 90% of the games he's played against or managed against Milan. So stands in good stead. He has something on that coach, Pioli.
Uh, if, if you're watching this, we'd love to hear from you. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But I mean, we're reviewing the match or reviewing the Champions League last 16 draw, and got 8 ties. I think our first match, like I said, is on the 14th of February on Valentine's Day, and next second leg is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and hopefully by then we'll have had the naming rights settled by then. Hopefully we'll have a new name for the stadium. Those who are saying it's going to be a Chrome Dome, who knows? Some people are saying it's FedEx, some people are saying it's Amazon, but we'll see, and we'll see what happens by then. I mean, it leads us to, I mean, the next match we're playing, which really is the match against what's the word? Forest. Forest for me, in the Carabao Cup. I don't know. I mean, what do you reckon? Away to
I think they're I think it's a good I think it's a good test. I think it's a good test.
yeah, because if you think
They've improved.
yeah,
That
have improved from the last time we played away to them. Played away to them in the league about in August, I think, if I recall, and that was the first match. Djed Spence came on as a late substitute, you know, and I also recall we had what did we have then? We had it was a sort of mixed match because I mean one of those times when people started having a go
tried too much.
at the team as to how we're playing, and then you know I think Mr. Conte, in typical Conte style, said to people, look, we're in a transition, and because we're in a transition, it means that potentially we need to be really careful as to how we do stuff. I mean, a lot of people will come to the team news in a minute, but there are rumblings in those board about team selection, right? And we'll look at that in a minute. But let's just sort of look at the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room seems to be Djed Spence at the moment because everyone seems to be saying, "Oh, why aren't you play Spence? Why aren't we play Spence? I mean, he's better than Emerson. He's better than Doherty, you know." But and there are those. I know you have your own views on that, and I'll let you express them in a minute. And I know what to call it, the management view in quotes. Now, I was listening to an interview by Salini the other day, and he said something which I felt, okay, it makes sense, but again, I'm pretty sure you have a slightly different view to that. And what do you look at the end of the day, as a coach, you try to ensure that you win all the time. That is our goal as a team. We try and go into every match with every good chance of winning. And when we were asked about Djed Spence, he said to him, "Look, Spence is a very good player. He's very young, you know, but for him it's a step up from from Championship to the Premier League, and that step up is really huge." Now, it says, unfortunately, as a coach, you don't have the luxury of experimenting and losing, because when that happens, the first people to come back at you are the same fans who asked you to please try him, try this person, or or try that person. He didn't say that. He didn't say it like that, but I mean that's what you can surmise from what he was saying. And essentially, what he was saying is, look, Spence is working very hard in training. He's improving by the day, and very soon we shall see him. Now, I, you know, some people call me the eternal optimist, and someone actually said incurable optimist. I wear it like
Terrible, honestly.
you know, yeah. But what do you reckon? You know,
Well, I've listened to all sides of the thing, and I'm a Conte fan, but in this instance, I think it's political, and I fully understand the politics being that yet Spence was not his signing, it was not his recommendation, it was not his second choice, nor his third choice. It was a club buy. Daniel Levy is guilty of doing this quite a lot. He goes out and buys young players that he thinks will gain in value because they have been spoken of very highly. And if he can get a deal for them, he thinks he'll get them, keep them, nurture them, and either they'll bring Tottenham glory or he will sell them on for profit. Djed Spence is one of those. I don't think Conte wanted him. I don't think Conte asked for him. But the club had already made moves for him, and I thought it was a wise choice because Daniel Levy preempted, in my opinion, that this boy is flying. He's the right wing back. You play a system with a right wing back, but it wasn't what Conte wanted. Antonio Conte has Emerson and Doherty who have played for him, who have earned his loyalty. He's a loyalty coach. They have earned his loyalty. He's one of those people that I believe he's very principled. The minute you earn his loyalty, you keep your shirt. You work hard in training, and you can tell Emerson works hard in training, so he keeps it. Tactically, I've watched him for over a year. I don't think he has grasped what makes a good right wing back. He doesn't have the technical prowess to pull it off completely. He might give you a thing here or there, but I don't think it's possible. Now, Djed Spence, on the other hand, I believe is technically better than both players. That's my personal belief. And this is from watching him at Nottingham Forest. Even before Spurs were interested in him, I watch Forest. I have one of my relatives that's a Forest fan. So I watch Forest. One of those teams I like to watch in the Championship. And this boy was absolutely brilliant. I don't think there's anything you can teach him in football that he has not heard before. There's no tactic that you show a player that's actually intelligent that he will not get. But I understand politics and I know how politics work. And I know how when you want to make a point to your board, you make your point. And Conte is making his point loud and clear. Come January, we're looking for a right wing back. And if he gets who he wants, the same Emerson that everyone is saying that he's happy with will drop to the bench. And if he does that, that now disproves this theory of what he's doing right now. If he gets a right wing back
Yeah,
and Emerson drops to the bench, it
it
disproves it.
no, it doesn't. Let me explain why it doesn't disprove it, right? Because if you have someone you can trust, who you know will deliver the results you're looking for, then you play that person. If he goes out and buys that person, that's the case. Now, if Emerson or if Spence is still learning the ropes, you can't be learning the ropes on the job in the Premier League. You know, I guess it's one of these chicken and egg type situations whereby you can't learn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a case in point. Everyone now, if you go online, they're now talking about Bissouma. They've watched the last two displays of Bissouma, even in losing matches and then the Marseille match, and they're watching how good Bissouma has been. Bissouma joined when? End of July, start of September. Yeah. And he missed those preseason games, 2 preseason games because of COVID. Since then, he started on the back foot. And this guy came out and said, he's learning my system. He's not proficient in my system. All these things, Conte said. But what has brought Bissouma this thing? Is it learning the system or actually getting match legs? And
However,
it's match legs.
the difference between Spence and Bissouma is Bissouma has Premier League experience, which Spence doesn't have.
So it's the chicken and the egg, like you said. Trying to get employment here in the UK, finishing university, finishing college, or whatever, they always ask the same thing: do you have any experience? And you're saying, how would I get experience if you don't
You
give
don't
me
give me the
this chance?
Yes.
And I look at this game, and why I'm saying this is there are games where we have been fairly comfortable or totally in the lead at a certain point. Spence did not come on. In a game where Doherty was absent with injury, he brought Perisic over and Sessegnon. That is to me unfair. But I I get it. I fully understand it. But so my whole thing has always been I pray this boy gets a chance. And in the chance he gets, he scores a hat trick or lays on a hat trick and he points at you and goes, now what? He comes back a second game and does it. He does a third game and he says, now what? And I'll see how the narrative will change to he has learnt my system. Yeah. And that is the thing. That is the thing. It's actually game time. I believe if this guy had game time, it would be different. But unfortunately, and this is the same thing that proved, I'll prove it. We bought Gareth Bale from Southampton. We had Benoit Asue Koto, remember him?
Yep.
And you knew Gareth Bale was better than Asue Koto. Everybody knew that. But it never translated because Harry liked Benoit. Gareth Bale was young, and every time Gareth Bale came on, we lost the game. So he stopped playing him. Tried to sell him, ironically, to Nottingham Forest, who we are playing. Gareth Bale was on the chopping block until Benoit Siokoto got injured. And then he got a run. So getting a run, getting a chance means something. I still understand if he doesn't want to play him. And I understand because Emerson is inside the team. The team knows Emerson. Emerson doesn't do too badly that it's a problem. And Tottenham have been winning. But notice when the outcry started. The outcry started as Spurs started losing. And that is the key. If Spurs were winning, nobody would complain about Emerson. But when you're not, you start to notice the things that are deficient in your side. One of them is creativity from the right. Perisic is dropping assists. Sessegnon has also dropped a couple more assists as well. Nothing from his end, really. So That's where we are. You know, and all I can say is, but also the losses coincided with the loss of Kulisevsky. And Kulisevsky's come back on now. Watch what happens to the attack. That's the difference.
Isn't that interesting? You talk about Kulusevski. I mean, I have people on my sports forum who says that Kulusevski is average or he's overrated. Eh? Is that right? He comes on against Liverpool within a minute.
2 minutes.
He has an assist.
2 minutes. He has an assist. He has
you know,
three key passes.
three key passes
He,
in the
he
game, and
it's like.
it's like he was never away. You know.
But what happened in that game was the ball stuck. And this is the thing, everyone's been complaining about Spurs' problem. The Spurs' problem is when you pass the ball forward to the forward line in the start of the match, Kane can't hold it. Son wasn't holding it. Richarlison wasn't good at holding it. This boy is good at holding it and drifting, allowing everybody settle. And the minute he went missing, Son, for whatever reason, this season has not been very good at keeping the ball, good at one on ones and skinning his man properly and moving it on. All these things happened at the same time. And Richarlison got injured. The replacement for Son or Kane, if he got injured, got injured. So it was a lot of things have conspired to make our season very wonky. But even despite that, fourth place, round of 16, we're still in the Carabao Cup for now, which I think, hopefully we
Yeah.
dispatch
Yeah,
first and move on.
I mean, league positions at this point in the season don't really matter. And I think the key is to have a deep enough to be able to overcome all of the oscillation in the course of the season when you have injuries, when you have bad patches, when you
Yeah,
have streaks, and
and we should be thankful. We just had our first and probably only major injury run
yeah. So I mean,
because we had two or three of major guys out at the same time, major players out.
exactly. You have Son out, Kulusevski out, Richarlison out at the same time.
What are the odds?
You had
Yeah.
Romero out as well. So it's been quite debilitating from the squad perspective. But however, the truth of the matter is that over the course of the season, these things are going to even themselves out because all the teams are going to have the same issues as well. It's how well you cope in those difficult times that is the key. You know, I mean, the guys at the top of the league now don't seem to have had any injury challenges, but they will come over the course of time. They'll hit.
I celebrated more of their players being selected in the Brazilian squad. I was so happy for them because the more players they have going to the World Cup, the better for everybody.
This is it. So, talking of which, I mean, we will have a series in the World Cup where we will be looking at Spurs players featuring the World Cup, and we'll have programs featuring those matches. Keep an eye out. If you're new here, subscribe to our channel, like our page, so we keep getting fed content that we release ever so often. Yeah, we're very much looking forward to the World Cup. The last match before the World Cup is our match against Leeds. We will preview that as well. And tonight, hopefully, we'll also do a post-match review of the match between Forest and Spurs. Hopefully, we'll come back on the winning side. I mean, if you look at it on the face of it, I mean, Carabao Cup probably stands forth in the list of priorities, if you like. We've got the league, we've got the Champions League, we've got the FA Cup, and Carabao Cup at the bottom of the list. So it gives us a chance to sort of look at other players. I mean, other than what you might call the starting lineup. So I mean, we want to have a look at what we would think would be the predicted lineup for the match tonight. I mean, a lot of people say that he wouldn't go. He won't sort of rest players and give others a chance um, to to play. You know, and if we have a look at what I call the predicted lineup, what do you reckon? You think you'll play Loris in goal? Starting in goal?
No, I think Foster. I think Foster is going to play.
Right.
I
So
think Foster's
Foster in goal. That's the prediction. Let's have a look at that. Okay, Foster in goal. Right. Back line. What do you reckon?
um, back three. I'll go with Tanganga, Longley, and Sanchez.
Tanganga. You think Tanganga will play? Okay, let's find Tanganga.
So
Tanganga will play on the right, presumably. Yep.
on the right, yes, on the right,
Longley.
Longley
Uh, and Sanchez. Did you say?
and Sanchez, yes.
Where is Mr. Chances in my list? Let's have a look and see if we can find him. Okay. So Longley playing in the middle.
Middle.
Where is Sanchez?
And it's been such a wonderful discovery finding out that Longley can play the middle. I think it's been a wonderful experiment so far.
Right. So Sanchez on the left. Longley in the middle. And Tanganga on the right, presumably, right? Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Probably want to concur with that, actually. All right. Um, so that's what that back line looks like. Right. In the middle of the park. Now, this is one area where we had injuries to keep. Was probably the only injury we've had over the course of the season. There's one point we had to, leave Harberg also on the bench. I think he had a slight injury as well. But apart from that, pretty much consistent across the whole season so far. Now, but the wing backs for this match, you got. I mean, I don't know what's going to go with this time around. Is it going to go with Doherty or Spence? That's the big question.
Well, you know what, he could actually even flip it on me. So my mindset was Spence, because he's Nottingham Forest. He's going to do what he did against Brighton and play the player like he did Bissouma. So he plays Spence. Everybody's been screaming for Spence, right? And maybe this is another chance for him to prove his point of why he's not playing Spence. I think he'll play Spence, but I think he could shock us and play Doherty as left wing back, which he has done before.
Right. So you think he'll play Spence with right wing back, right?
I think he will play Spence right wing
back. Okay. And then who would we have next to Spence on the right hand side of the midfield?
Either Bissouma or Skip, one of the two of them. So in the middle would be Bissouma and Skip for me.
So Skip and Bissouma, presumably, right?
Yeah.
Right. Where have I put for him just now? Right. So Skip and Bissouma. Okay. And then on the right hand side, is it going to be a 4-man midfield or 2-man midfield?
Four man. Yeah. Four. Oh yeah, no. Sorry, 2-man. 2-man in the center,
right.
And then left wing back. My left wing back, I want to go Sessignon. But I don't know why I think Doherty. I don't know why, but if not, I'd say Sessignon.
Okay.
Someone more physical.
I would say let's go with Doherty for the simple reason that he wants to give him good game time, right? And
game time, yeah. So Doherty's played left wing back before.
Yeah. So let's see, where's Doherty in this my lineup? I can see him somewhere, but where have I put him? Where's Mr. Doherty? Just now, where have I done with him? Yeah, a few minutes ago. Technical issue means I can't see Doherty on my screen. What have I done with him? Wow. Okay, I'll have to. So while we're looking for Doherty up front, who have we got?
I would say start Kulusevski and pull him off. That would be me. I'll start Kulusevski and pull him off. Second half, to give him starting legs, I'll start him. I'd have Kulusevski, Kane, and probably Hill.
So Kulusevski, who and who?
Kulusevski, Kane, and Hill.
Right. So no place for Mora, right?
He might end up playing, but yeah, I would start with those, and then second half, Kane comes off for Richarlison, and then Kulusevski comes off for Lucas. That's how I would think. Once you've got the game wrapped up or you're 2 goals ahead, you just pull those two guys off top and then bring on Lucas to run at them and Richarlison to get some.
Right. So this is what the lineup is looking like at the moment, right?
Our predicted line.
Yeah. Well,
we've been pretty good.
our predicted lineup for the match tonight. Now, let's see what Mr. Conte comes up with. We'll see how well we've done against him. We've done quite well in the past. I mean, we've put my mind to be accurate quite a few times, so hopefully we'll get it right again. Right.
The thing was I would have put Lucas where Hill is because I think he favors right footers cutting in. He likes inverted forward behind Kane. So he always has Son who cuts into his right foot, Kulusevski cuts into his left. But Hill, I think he's sort of merited getting a start finally because he's been every time he's come on,
Yeah, in
he's
terms,
done good work.
I mean, Richarlison is beginning to get back. I mean, I think he's what he's
Yeah, he's training.
he has calf strain, and understandably, is almost back. Is back in training. No, sorry, look, sorry. He's back. Yeah, he's back in training now. I think
He's back in training. Yeah, for 2 days.
expect
Yeah,
that he'll feature at some point in today's game, either as a starter or comes on at some point during the course of the game. Also, Romero is rumored to be doing quite well as well, and hopefully he would feature at some point in the game as well. We'll see how that goes. But overall, scoreline. What do you predict for the scoreline? I mean,
um, uh, I would say I'd say I'll either go for 2-0 or 3-1, but like a 2 goal gap.
so Spurs to win.
It sounds cut off. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear.
Maybe my mic was muted.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
So yes, you were saying that hopefully we'll have a 3 goal, sorry, 2 goal gap, either a 2-0
2 goal gaps
or 3.
minimum. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean that's probably what I'll go for.
I think they're capable of scoring. I think they're quite capable of scoring, especially if we have a makeshift defense. I
Exactly.
think they're capable of scoring.
So they
I think
haven't
we'll
played
outscore them.
before, so a lot. I mean, there's plenty of chops and changes, and hopefully those people who are on the fringes will make a case for building them. I mean, if Spence does well, I mean, he will have to sort of always make a case for himself if he does feature in tonight's match at some point. Um, Hill has been kind of maybe a bit of a paperweight at sometimes during matches. It comes on, does a few good bits and pieces, but he gets pushed off the ball so easily. I mean, and he loses his ball.
Easily, and that's the problem.
It's
That's the
lack
thing.
of
And
strength, to sort of hold on to the ball and and just you kind of loses the ball and it looks so flimsy sometimes, which can be a bit frustrating from the manager and fans' perspective as well. So that might be
yeah,
something he needs to work on his game. Have to be a lot more physical and even if you're gonna get shoved off the ball, you don't let the defenders get near you, basically. So that seems to be the problem with here. But I mean, like I said, 3-1 or 2-0. Fair enough scoreline, I think. Hopefully, we'll come back at the end of today and we'll say, "Come on, you Spurs!" Thank you so much,
come on, you Spurs.
um,
Thank you.
Chuma. We'll hopefully see you at the match review later on in the day. Yeah.